Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Wine Coven! We have another special announcement. You swooped in and bought all of the tickets to the Gramercy Theater show. That show is sold out.
Sold out.
Bye-bye. So, we have a second live show in New York City in case you miss your chance at tickets.
That's right. We've added a second show. It's going to be at the Bell House in Brooklyn, New York on Sunday, July 9th. That happens to be my mom's birthday.
Ooh,
She will not be in attendance, but at least I have an excuse.
Just for me.
She's got better things to do.
She's got better things to do, but you don't. So you should be at the Bell House on Sunday, July 9th with us. The show starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Get your tickets now at wineandcrimepodcast.com. Once again, tickets are going really quick, so get yours today. Don't hesitate. It will definitely sell out.
We love the Bell House. We're so excited. We will see you on July 9th in Brooklyn. See you then.
Hello, and welcome to this very special episode of Wine and Crime. This week, we present to you a little sneak peek of our Patreon exclusive bonus content. If you are already a Patreon supporter, this episode is going to be a really wild ride of some of our greatest Patreon hits. And if you're not already a Patreon supporter, what is wrong with you?
For real.
You might want to be after this is over.
So if you can't get enough Wine and Crime, don't worry. You're not alone. You might be alone. But if you can't get enough, we've got full episodes of Spooky Little Bitch with me, Lucy, A Mansplaining with Amanda, and Unimpressed with Kenyon. We've also got Drunk Dives, where we gals take turns covering a specific case of our choosing, but we're particularly intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
They get real rowdy and really fun. So all of these are available for our Patreon supporters donating at any level.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of exclusive Patreon content, if you're not familiar, at $5 and up, we feature video episodes, monthly happy hour live streams, which are basically my favorite thing ever.
They're so much fun.
We go live with all of y'all in the chat and you interact with us. You can ask us questions. We typically go on a lot of tangents about our childhood top 10 embarrassing moments and stories. It's just
It's a peek
whole
behind the
lot.
curtain.
It really, really is. And, there's a lot more at that $5 and up level as well. So be sure to check it out at patreon.com/wine and crime pod. And let's talk about some of the stuff we're going to be featuring today.
So first up, we have some top hits, top all-time drunk dive hits.
Some moments.
Some really funny moments.
Rock bottom drunk dive moments.
Yeah, to be
Top
honest,
is a strong word.
I can barely remember most of these.
Seriously. We take the drunk dive seriously.
We do. Usually what happens is we record a regular episode, which is usually 2 hours long. And usually we're excited because we're going to be recording a drunk dive after. So we'll pregame the regular episode, record the regular episode, drink for 2 more hours, and then start recording the drunk dive. And
I'm amazed we are alive.
Yeah.
So by then we've lost all control.
Yeah.
And
a lot of time.
self-respect.
Yep.
Yep. And then we begin the drunk dives. And so we rotate, and each month one of us takes the lead, takes charge, and we'll pick just a random the weirder the better thing to talk about.
That doesn't really fit into any other normal episode topic.
It's not necessarily crime. It's usually not crime, actually. It's just bizarre stuff that we have found on the internet that we need to share with each other, and usually it unlocks new fears.
I've literally untethered Kenyon temporarily from her reality in one of these drunk dives.
You red-pilled me, and I
really
don't
did.
appreciate. to be honest.
I love it.
Drunk dives are so fun. They're the best. I love like combing the internet for what is going to be my next drunk dive. And my list of upcoming ideas, it always sounds so unhinged.
Yeah. And so if you've heard us reference like Klingon translations, that's where this is where that comes from.
Yep.
You're going to
And
love this.
if you've been missing them from our long ago days of special thanks, this is where you get your Klingon fix, people.
Yep.
You can find more information and our drunk dives at patreon.com/wineandcrimepod.
Let's hear some favorite moments. I'm going to be talking today. And hopefully, Kenyon and Lucy have actually heard this before because I covered this case when we were in Houston.
It's so
and
good.
We didn't record this live show, and I am so obsessed with this case that I had to do it again, but there was like nowhere in an upcoming episode that it would fit.
She had to bring it to the masses, y'all.
I had to.
It's
So
so
you
good.
So bonks.
You lucky patrons are getting to experience it. So I'm just really in a place of fear. I'm being held hostage in my home by wasps. I'm high. And here we go. So
All right.
our tale is one of love, of scandal, of sex, and the moon.
Lots of sex, if I recall.
So much sex.
This
And
case rocks.
It rocks.
It
And
rocks.
It stars a man named Tad Roberts, who it's spelled Thad, so I only want to pronounce it as Thad. So that's
It's
how that's
Thad.
gonna go. It's Thad.
Yeah.
Sounds okay.
Yeah, that's
She's
okay.
she's all Thad.
She's all Thad. Smart, handsome Thad grew up with his eyes on the sky and had dreams of space travel. And when he reached college age, he studied physics, geology, and anthropology, graduating at 23 years old in the year of our Lord 2001 with a triple major and all three from the University of Utah.
I love
Triple major.
2001.
Can you imagine a triple major in physics, geology, and anthropology?
They're
No,
all really
because-
different.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It is stupid. I agree.
No one should have a triple undergrad major.
In
It's
anything.
Dumb.
Well, he did graduate at 23, so one could assume it took a little extra time.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
Like you know you can have interests and you don't have to major in them, right?
Right? Yeah. I have
Whatever.
plenty of interests that I haven't majored in.
There's no cat
Called
major.
ADHD.
There's no cat major. So his outstanding grades and zest for space landed him a much coveted internship with NASA. Ever heard of it? For aspiring astronauts in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
But Thad was bad. Or at least he had a bit of a rebellious streak and he liked to push the rules. So early in his internship, he snuck into the Space Shuttle Flight Simulator just to check it out.
Who wouldn't?
Play it like an arcade game.
Yeah.
I would
get it.
vomit.
I sympathize
leave-
deeply with Thad.
I'd leave so much evidence behind in the form of all
Blue
of my
hair.
motion sickness and blue hair.
You leave evidence in the form of
Everywhere.
blue hair.
You're not
everywhere.
subtle.
I went to visit Lucy a while ago, and she called me like 3 or 4 days after I left. It was like, so I was washing my floors in the bathroom, and I went to wash behind the toilet, and there was blue hair there. But then when I washed it, I realized it was just a stain left by blue hair
Yeah.
behind the toilet.
Next
You
time you
stained
come
the
to stay at my
floor.
house, I'm getting a dark towel that you can put over your pillowcase.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Y'all have been warned for years how this head works.
I just didn't take it that seriously.
No.
Until it was too late.
It's everything the light touches, Simba.
Turns blue.
It turns blue. So Thad was also married, and he liked to push the rules of matrimony with fellow NASA intern, 22-year-old Tina Fowler. Fowl.
Oh,
In an interview for The Atlantic, a young gal named Katie Roberts opened up about all of this shit. She spilled all the tea.
Go, Katie.
yes.
Go, Katie.
Run,
Quote,
Katie, run.
Run. Dish. Thad claims that he and Katie had grown apart as they had followed their separate dreams. Okay, so she was his wife, not
She was his
a colleague.
Was he married first or
Yes,
divorced?
he
Or
was
this
married.
was the
This
wife
was
that he was cheating with?
The wife he
cheating
was
on.
cheating on.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he's married to Katie Roberts while he's at this NASA program and meets Tiffany Fowler.
That's right.
Foul.
Tiffany. Oh,
Yeah. So Thad claimed that he and Katie had grown apart as they followed their separate dreams, and they decided
And
to
his
have
dream was fucking other women.
in space,
Was plowing a fowler.
plowing a fowl. So they decided to have an amicable, open marriage.
Uh-huh.
It's
Get it in
not-
writing.
Uh-huh.
It's probably not that.
I want a
You're
signed
already
affidavit
cheating.
from your partner, notarized.
I want a video of your partner holding like the most recent newspaper saying.
Yeah.
I want it time stamped and dated.
Yeah. In person would be better.
And that would be best. Katie,
Full
however,
conversation, just
Right.
to be
Yeah.
safe.
Katie says she had not agreed to this. I'm not shocked. She says, quote, Thad has put so much incorrect info out there, so he seems like a hero to others instead of the lying, manipulative person he really is.
Get it.
Don't worry, Katie. He does not seem like a hero to us.
His name is Thad. I'm Thad for him.
That's so sad.
It's super Thad.
That's
In
super
an
bad.
episode of the television series Who the Bleep Did I Marry?
Yes, I love that
Katie spills it all and claims that when she confronted Thad about foul, he told her that she, quote, didn't understand his relationship with Tiffany. He was just using her for something.
Sex.
Yeah.
Sex.
It's like, babe, you don't get it.
I
Okay.
need to be close to this 22-year-old fellow NASA intern. If it's
Babe,
for
I
my
need
career.
this. Yeah. Don't you want me to be an astronaut?
Don't
I'm
you know
just
the
using her for
opportunities
sex, sad.
this 22-year-old intern could offer me?
She's going to change my life. So young, hot, and miles away from the scrutinizing eye of a wife back home in Utah, Thad and Tiff started hooking up.
God. Those are
Yep.
the most 80s names I've ever heard.
I know. And we were born in the 80s, and we still don't have names that 80s.
We escaped. I have
Yeah.
a K name, though.
Yeah, but that's fine. It's a
That's
family heirloom.
Yeah.
Heirloom.
Yeah. That's how that works. That's how
Yeah.
names work. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Okay. So, welcome, Patreon members, to our first ever exclusive Drunk Dive.
Dive,
In which, once a month, one of the gals will choose a completely bizarre, outlandish case to cover and tell to their friends while they are wasted. And in our inaugural journey, I have done no note taking and will simply be reading one article and one legal document to you because things are, it's hard out there for us.
Amanda.
So,
X is
Yeah.
short for excellent.
yep. X is short for excellent. F is short for fuck it. We'll do it live.
XF. X.
So I'm going to start with a short article to give you just the little pieces of this case from The Telegraph,
Whet your appetite.
written
Reliable.
by Mark Malloy.
Woo! The real Malloy.
Are you ready?
Oh my god, I almost died.
Okay, but we'll keep it together because this headline is great.
Okay.
Klingon sword used to defend woman's honor in argument over rubbish.
No!
Yeah.
So much no. No.
I'm literally only reading this article and then reading like the court document. So here we go. If you've ever pondered the pros and cons of buying a Klingon sword, then this tale from Washington could help make up your mind.
Oh my god.
Quote,
Wait,
will
this
I
is a
get enough-
legitimate press.
Oh, yeah.
like,
I'm reading
source?
an article from November 18th, 2015. About
I just
this
can't
case.
tell the difference
In
between
the
what
Telegraph.
you might have written between what
No,
the
I
professional
literally said
journalist.
I have written nothing.
Nothing.
I am simply reading
I mean,
articles.
I heard you, but then I heard you.
This sounds like something I would have written, and that's why I've chosen this particular article because it feels like me.
That's amazing.
But I didn't write any of this. Mark Malloy, you're the real MVP.
Making absolute sure.
Yeah. Quote, will I get enough use out of it? Or, quote, what preposterous situation could I possibly find myself in where I need a Klingon sword? Are just some of the questions you may ask yourself.
Yep.
One man who got the answer to the hypotheticals one may look at when thinking of investing in a sword favored by the humanoid alien species from Star Trek is Colonel Morris Cerruti. The 50-year-old has been charged with assault after being accused of swinging a Klingon sword with, quote, multiple blades at a neighbor in a dispute over some rubbish.
Can we describe a Klingon sword?
Well, if you'd like
know?
to go to the drive,
Yes.
I have photos of said Klingon sword
Oh my god.
and a Klingon, just in case anybody's curious what a Klingon is.
Oh.
It's like basically what my fucking forehead looks like. Need
No,
to get a wrinkle
yes.
cream, y'all.
The sword itself looks like a fucking tri-pronged, like,
I don't
I
even
mean,
know.
I don't even like ice skate.
Fortunately, Patreon subscribers will have these visual aids
Yeah.
to
Looks like
view.
a
It's a
Viking long
deadly
shit
ice skate.
2D
It's
sketch.
ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
Continuing on. Quote, our next door neighbor was evicted and he was throwing his stuff in our garbage can. So I put it in a bag, took it to him and said, Junior, will you please not put your stuff in our garbage can?
How dare
Joyce
you.
Cerruti told KREM.com. Quote,
Yep.
I turned around and he chucked the bag at me and hit me in the back. And then he started throwing garbage all over my yard. The neighbor claims this was when Mr. Cerruti came rushing out of his house armed with the sword, also known by Trekkies as a botleth. I looked up the pronunciation. He says he put his hands up to protect himself from the sword, and he was able to grab it from his hands, and another
Ouch.
neighbor then called the police. Mrs. Cerruti claims her husband only took down the sword that was mounted on the wall in their home
Yep.
when
Yeah.
the man barged into their home, but he did not attack him.
I feel
Cerruti
like
was
I
charged.
was so
Viable
close to
legal
living
defense.
a life where that
I mean-
would have happened.
I know.
I
So
was
Cerruti
sorry,
was charged
what?
with assault and
seconds
booked.
away from that life.
Zach has
No.
Star Trek
No.
swords?
No. Pre-Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Cerruti was charged with assault and booked into the Spokane County Jail.
Which brings us to the impending banana apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
In 2019, Colombia, along with Ecuador, Costa Rica, and Guatemala, declared a national state of emergency due to the risk of fungal infections and new strains of Panama disease that could impact the Cavendish.
Quick question. Why do they call it a banana republic?
Because back in the day, I think this was pre-1920s, a lot of the Central American countries that are big banana growers and banana exporters
Were banana republics.
Were banana republics. They were basically like little oligarchies that were highly influenced by U.S. big business like Dole and whatever. Through like, bribery and corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I never
Yeah.
tied that together. I thought it had something to do with banana boats.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. So, great question. And I am so pleased with myself that I knew the answer.
I
Okay.
am really impressed.
So, banana experts, and this includes, and this is real, the International Banana Congress.
Amanda for Banana Congress.
The Bongress.
Bongress, if you will.
From around the world believe it might be too late to save the world's most popular banana.
No.
Like the ship has sailed. The banana boat has sailed.
Oh, God.
no.
The banana boat.
Get on the boat.
No.
How are there so many songs about bananas?
I don't know.
I
Okay.
think there's only that one.
We just listed
the
a
one
second
that
one.
Kenyon
only
was
those
also
two.
singing.
We have no bananas. It was a huge hit, okay?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Boom. Okay, whatever. We have to get through this.
So now that Cavendish is king, 100% of the banana supply chain is set up to support its very specific needs as a varietal.
Okay.
So things like the temperature for refrigerated transport, the banana boats that we use for shipping, the boxes, the warehouses, every part of the banana supply chain is specifically designed for Cavendish bananas.
Okay.
Whoa. That's insane.
I mean, they are. It's banana supremacy. They are number one. The whole
bananas.
system is built for them.
This is literally bananas.
But you cry out in desperation. I thought the Cavendish was resistant to Panama disease.
I thought so too.
Well, it was.
Oh.
No, don't. Don't.
But in the last few years, another strain of Panama disease called Tropical Race 4.
God damn it.
What?
I couldn't figure out if it was caused by a new fungus or it's just caused by like a slightly mutated form of the first fungus. Whatever.
Either way.
It's a bye-bye fungus.
Ugh.
Was discovered
Known
on
colloquially as
known colloquially as Fusarium odoratissimum.
Rotisserie. Got it.
odorous rotisserie.
Yum. I'm so hungry.
Was discovered on a number of banana farms in Colombia.
Colombia.
So TR4, Tropical Race 4, can spread in a number of ways, including on truck tires and workers' boots. And since 99% of the crops are genetically identical, and we will get to that in 1 second, it means that every single banana grown today is vulnerable to this new TR4 strain.
This is some Monsanto shit.
Yes.
Ooh.
Literally, yes.
Oh my God.
So much like Big Mike, the Cavendish is a monoculture. The benefits of zero genetic diversity are basically capitalism. So like it's
Trademarks.
trademarks and like seeds that only certain corporations can sell.
Yeah,
And like
you own that particular strain, and you can sue the fuck out of anyone who's proven to like be selling
Make it, grow
your
it, sell it.
strain,
Interesting.
That's like
even if
one-
it's spread by like I don't know, wind or
That's like-
shoes.
one part of it, but other parts of it are just like stores only want to stock the normal ass bananas, the bananas everybody knows and expects, and then consumers only want to buy those bananas. And so growers only grow the ones that stores want to buy.
right.
So nobody has an incentive to
To
grow other
diversify.
bananas. Right. because capitalism.
It's bad.
And it's cheaper to ship because it's all the same.
Uniform.
So Yeah. But the big drawback of a monoculture is the risk of total annihilation.
Oh, that.
So if
This old thing.
if one banana is vulnerable, every single other one is vulnerable. So Cavendish bananas don't have seeds. So, and that's part of their appeal. But seeds.
It's the third time you've made that joke.
There aren't that many banana jokes, turns out. So seeds aren't used to propagate them, but they are. So instead, they are literally just clones of one another. Like it's all just fields of banana clones.
Yeah,
y'all.
Great.
Yum.
Which again makes them more susceptible to disease because they're just all identical. And TR4 can lay dormant for a long time, so many farmers don't know that their crop is sick until the first banana goes bad, and by that point, it's already too late.
It's spread.
No.
Farmers and farm workers can easily spread the fungus on their boots and tools and tires and machinery and whatever, wind.
These boots
Son
were made
of
for
a
spreading
bitch.
fungus, and that's just what
they'll
they'll do.
They do.
One of these days, these fungus go to fuck
Spore
all over you.
you.
Spore all over you.
Ish. That's disgusting.
I'm a spore on you.
Spore on my face.
Oh my God.
So it only takes one spore to spread. And also, this is my beef with The Last of Us because they don't need the biting. Like, why would a fungus make people bite each other? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like,
Well, they don't actually bite if you've seen the first episode. They just like breathe their shit into the other person's body.
no, they bite.
They do both.
Well, they bite, but like when their method of spreading is like opening their mouths and letting their like gross little wormy things into someone else's
Right.
mouth.
That's way more terrifying. Like, the spore concept of spreading is way more terrifying to me than biting. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
That's
it wouldn't
my
be
beef.
as cool of a video game or movie if that were the only case.
I guess. Okay, cruising.
One of my favorite parts about my job is that I get to indulge in morbid, creepy shit. And that doesn't come out any more clearly than in my spooky little bitch segments.
It's where Lucy becomes self-actualized in
Yeah.
all her spooky glory.
It's really if you are really wanting like a tour of Lucy's macabre inner world, this is how you get it.
It's basically just shit that I find interesting, which is horrifying in itself.
It's almost like a deeper dive in corner, but
It
but not
is.
obits necessarily, but just like
No, I usually have, I have special guests. So I have people on the show. I go places. I went to the Stanley Hotel for the first one. I really blew my load with the first one.
The first one is exquisitely
they've all
good.
been
They're
great.
all really good.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the taxidermy one is my favorite.
So good.
Well, actually, there have been multiple taxidermy.
Yeah, no shit.
Didn't you like dissect one of your husband's gallstones in one of these
dissected
episodes?
his gallbladder.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God.
Yeah, that's still in my freezer. I haven't had my ceremony with it yet.
Ma'am.
So there might be a spooky little bitch gallbladder part
I was literally
two.
just gonna
Burial.
say you have to do a part 2 when you
The
do your
ceremony.
ceremony.
I should mummify it.
You
Yes.
should. You've been talking about mummifying something for 5 years, 6
Yeah,
years.
started with the hot dog.
Yes, we've been bullying you to mummify a hot dog for half a decade. So
Well, folks, you just witnessed how episodes of Spooky Little Bitch come about.
you just got a glimpse of our process.
So, like I said, I have special guests. I like to go places. I like to tackle different spooky subjects. So, if you have any ideas about a creepy topic that I should cover, I would love to hear from you. Go to the support tab on our website. That's wineandcrimepodcast.com. Scroll down to Spooky Little Bitch. We have a speak pipe set up so you can leave me a message with more information. I want to hear from you because I know deep down you are just as creepy as I am.
Oh, I want to hear people's ghost stories.
Yes. So there's a little background for you. And if this is your jam, you got to check out all of my episodes of Spooky Little Bitch. So once again, that's patreon.com/wineandcrimepod. And enjoy these little sneak peeks. Hello, you spooky bitches, and welcome to this month's epic episode of Spooky Little Bitch. I am your host, Lucy from Wine and Crime, here to weave you a tale, which you're already aware of if you follow me on Instagram. About 3 weeks ago, as I record this, my husband Corey went to have surgery to get his gallbladder removed. The gallbladder, in case you didn't know, is just a little guy who lives right under the liver, which stores the bile produced by the liver. So when you eat, the gallbladder oozes out said bile into the small intestine to help digest fats. Yummy. So while he is helpful, he is not necessary. And I'm talking about the gallbladder, not Corey. And so when Corey started getting really bad nausea and painful gut attacks, he went to go see the doctor. They ran some tests, and they decided to give him a cholecystectomy. Nailed it. And pull out his nuisance of a gallbladder. Obviously, my first question was, can I keep the stones that were inevitably inside of the gallbladder? The surgery went fine, and the next week I arranged to meet a pathologist named Jessica at the hospital where the lab was. All right, I was standing outside the hospital gift shop waiting for Jessica with the gallstones. This feels like a drug deal. I'm so excited. And then I saw her walking towards me carrying an unmarked brown paper bag. Hi, are you Jessica?
Yes,
Lucy.
I am.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, what am I looking at?
Yes, okay, so this is your gallbladder specimen. We have to put it in one of those brown paper bags so other people don't see the specimen. Some people get grossed out, but
Not me.
hey, me neither. So
Yeah, cool.
So this is for
the whole
you.
organ is in here? It's not
Yeah,
just
so the stones are kind of embedded in the tissue.
Sweet. In chatting with Jessica, it became evident that we have a lot in common, although that does not include a medical degree. Also, I talked to this poor woman for almost 15 minutes in the lobby. Jessica, if you're listening, I am so sorry to have wasted so much of your time. Oh my God, I have the gallbladder in hand. Back in my kitchen, Corey and I had a really fun little unveiling party. How do you feel that your gallbladder is in the fridge right now?
Hungry.
Okay. We're going to open the bag and inspect the organ. Just stapled shut, all cash.
Looks like lunch.
It does look like lunch, and I am hungry. Feels like it's about 8 ounces, don't you think?
Yep.
It's like Christmas morning. Oh, yuck. Oh, my God.
What in the fuck?
Ew, you can see it through the liquid. The liquid's dark brown.
That is very bizarre.
Isn't it weird to think that a week ago that was inside your body?
Yeah.
I am so excited to cut this bitch open. Corey just had to call our friend Phil, who is one half of the talent behind the theme song for this show and the Wine and Crime theme song. Fun fact.
Do you want to hear my gallstone bang against the side of the container? Dude, it's fucked up. The gallbladder itself looks like some alien fetus, and the gallstones seriously look like fucking dinosaur eggs.
It looks like something you'd find in a dirty tide pool.
What if it becomes sentient?
But what if it became sentient? Organs are really intense. I would not put anything past them. Okay, now for the dissection. Our friend Chloe of Baking Man in the Boiler Room stench fame came over to observe and maybe to poke around a little bit. The gallbladder's name is Paul, full name Paul Wellstones. Throwback to our Minnesota heritage. So we have here Paul Wellstones. I got gloves. I've got protective eyewear in the form of, what do you even call these?
Those are my street dogs.
Street dog sunglasses. But picture basically what an 80s bodybuilder on Venice Beach would be wearing. I need a drink. We did make cocktails. Cover your cocktails. Okay, I'm going to open the jar.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn, this is going to be so fucking gross.
I'm worried about the smell.
Okay, well. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Smell it.
Ooh, it's green. Wow. The liquid is green. Oh my.
Did not see that coming.
Oh, there's some parts coming out. Pulp. Looks like, oh God, are you ready? Oh, it looks like a penis! It looks like a penis. It has a head.
Look at those
Did they
gallstones.
accidentally take your penis?
Pretty sure not. Given the way things have been going.
Have you checked?
Have you checked?
Oh god, it just fell out. Did you hear that?
It looks like a little...
Listen.
That's a stone.
That's a stone falling out onto the tray.
I can't wait to touch it.
What is this metal? Do you see this piece of metal? It's like a staple.
Cool.
There's a piece of metal in
I'm
here.
a prototype.
Did you eat a staple?
Probably
There's
sometime in
a
my
straight
life.
up staple in here. So the outside of the organ is like
alien intelligence.
the outside is like gray and like rubbery. I'm squeezing it.
What's it feel like? What's the texture like?
It feels like chicken, like the chicken meat that you don't really want to eat.
Yeah.
That's like kind of gooey, like the fat.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It's like green inside because the bile is green. It looks like a dead man's dick.
Okay, it's dripping now.
Is it?
It's like drippy, but it looks like darker than that green color.
It's like blood.
This was inside your body, dude.
I know.
Do you guys want to touch it? You're both
Yeah.
wearing gloves. Here, let's pass.
I would
Well,
really...
here,
let's
just
not
reach
pass
over.
it.
It looked like a Game of Thrones dragon egg that like kind of went through a tumbler for like 15 seconds. The stones are scheduled to be made into pendants for me to wear on a necklace every day for the rest of time. So in conclusion, if you have something removed from your body, it does not hurt to ask if you can keep it because technically it is yours. So last weekend, my husband Corey and I took a trip to Colorado just to get out of town for a few days. We didn't really have much of a plan. A friend had suggested that we check out the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park. Ever heard of it? So here's a little backstory for the uninitiated. The Stanley Hotel is the hotel that inspired Stephen King to write The Shining.
Most folks who shine, you only shine a little. But you, son, I can feel it coming off you like heat. I bet you just about glow in the damn dark, boy.
It is not the hotel that Stanley Kubrick filmed the movie in because turns out that was made up entirely of sound stages, which is bonkers. But the Stanley Hotel is definitely haunted and we will get to it. So a few weeks ago, against my better judgment, I went to the hotel's website and booked room 217, which is the room Stephen King and his family stayed in that fateful night. And also that room is infamously super haunted. We only stayed there for one night, so I was super jazzed to make the most of it and find some freaking ghosts. We are on Highway 72, heading to Estes Park, and we're thinking about how Stephen King and his wife would have felt on their way here before The Shining was even conceived. Yeah, it's creepy. All right, we're in Estes Park.
Oh, it's back there.
Oh,
That
yeah.
building.
I feel the haunts from here. I feel the ghosts. So this hotel is enormous. It's basically a huge compound of big, white, colonial revival style buildings with red roofs that stand out gorgeously against the Rocky Mountains that surround Estes Park. It's breathtakingly beautiful. The hotel was built in 1909 by a man named Freeland Oscar Stanley, who originally moved to the area because he was stricken with tuberculosis, and his doctor told him that the fresh mountain air might help to extend his life because he was like about to die. And spoiler alert, it did. He didn't die for another 31 years. So Stanley loved Estes Park so much that he decided to build a 48-room hotel to serve as a summertime health retreat and social getaway for rich urbanites. I totally relate to that. The entire hotel, I should note, was closed during the winter, which is like what all the creepiness hinges on, I think. So we check in at the front desk, where, by the way, the staff member said, 217, lucky you. Ominous. And we headed up the ancient brass elevator to the second floor. I don't feel any ghosts so far, but I kind of have to poop, so
Great.
let's go sleep. Oh my god. Here's our room. 217. Oh, wow. It's nice and big.
What a lovely room.
The room had a huge 4-poster bed. I think it was a king. A bookcase filled with Stephen King books, a writing desk, obviously, nice big windows overlooking Estes Lake, and a bathroom with a clawfoot tub, a creepy empty closet with like nothing in it, and a west-facing window that was painted shut.
These are old-ass windows, too. Yeah, this is definitely creepy. I'm into it.
We freshened up a little bit and headed down to the whiskey bar to have a drink before our 6:30 tour.
There is apparently a murder mystery dinner here tonight, so there's a lot of people dressed up like... Yeah, there's like an old-timey diner man, a lady in a poodle skirt. There's a man dressed up as a nerd with like the tape on his glasses. There's some 50s ladies. Maybe they're not real people. Maybe they're ghosts. Ghosts from days gone by.
Ghosts wouldn't be drinking at the bar before.
Yeah, a lot of the ghosts were drinking at the bar, so maybe that wasn't them, but still, ghosts.
While I couldn't actually record during the tour, I can tell you that the history of the hotel is wild. There are dozens of ghosts who haunt the property, and it should be noted that these people didn't necessarily die here, but they visited during their lives and had such strong memories of the place that they came back in the afterlife to hang at the hotel. We were introduced to Lucy, who floats around the basement of the concert hall. She smells like patchouli and weed and likes to shut the door to her room when young, handsome men are in there alone. Can attest this happens. I put Corey in there to test it, and yeah, it's real. After the tour, I had a chance to sit down with Robert, our tour guide, and ask him about his own experiences at the hotel.
So one of the things that like really shocked me the most about what I learned on that tour was that Grady, what's his name?
Lloyd Grady.
Lloyd Grady, the bartender, was a real fucking person, and that entire scene basically happened to Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? That's wild.
So there's actually a story that apparently Stephen met Lloyd again at a book signing. And when Lloyd handed him his copy of the novel, he looked up from his table to see who he was signing a book for, and he said, "Oh my God, you're real. I thought I dreamt you up too." So he didn't even think Lloyd was a real person, according to that legend. Whether or not it's true, someday maybe I'll get to talk to Stephen and find out for myself.
What about any other ghosts? Like you mentioned on the tour, there are seemingly like dozens of ghosts throughout this hotel.
A lot. When I first started working here, they prod at you. When they realize that you're going to be in the hotel and you're going to be around, they want to see how you'll react to them.
It's hazing.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It's a whole new level of hazing. And
haunted hazing.
I was following a tour when I was learning how to do all of the stuff, all the lines and everything else that we talk about. And we were in the billiard room, and there were 4 hanging fixtures in the billiard room, and I stood underneath one of them that I later found out was the light fixture that would have been over the spot where F.O. Stanley's favorite billiards table was. And I started tasting copper in my mouth, and I got this electric feeling down the back of my neck, all the way down through my spine.
Copper like blood almost?
Like sucking on a penny more than anything. It was almost like sucking on a penny and licking a 9-volt battery at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Not pleasant.
No, weird tasting. So I stepped out from under the light, and as soon as I did, it stopped. So I went, hold on a second, and I stepped back underneath it, and it came back. So I stepped away, went into the pinion room, my favorite room in the whole building, leaned against the bar top, and it wasn't until I started leaning against the bar top that I felt it again. So I just said, I know you're there. You can stop now. And as soon as I said that, it stopped.
You said that out loud?
Mm-hmm. I was the only one in the room, so I didn't mind doing it. And when I said that, I was like, okay, gotcha.
Do you think it was F.O. Stanley?
That is the theory. And then I did the same thing a week later. I came in and I was wondering if it would happen again. And when I stood underneath the light fixture, I didn't feel or taste anything. But when I went over to the pinion room, I looked in the mirror behind the bar top, or the bar back, and my tie had been pulled down below my top button. I was wearing a suit and tie at the time. And I tie my ties tight because,
You're a put-together kind of guy. You're not going to let that tie just get loosened.
Yeah, and it just went all the way down there. And I was like, all right, you guys.
Had you felt it? Anything?
Nope, didn't feel a thing. I just looked in the mirror and it was all droopy. And I was like, what? All right, yeah, you're cute. Leave me alone.
Robert said one of his favorite ghosts was Lucy, the hippie chick who lives in the basement of the concert hall who traps handsome men in her room. She's frisky.
One night, it would have been early May, she actually tried going home with me at the end of my shift.
Hey.
And I had to kick her out of my truck. And when I was telling my group that, the door slammed. She was not happy that I was telling people that story.
I mean, I wouldn't be either.
So,
just blasting her rejection all over these strangers.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things. You got to set boundaries with them. If you say, you're not allowed to come home with me, go back to the hotel. We're going to have a conversation about this in the morning. They will leave, but she was not happy to do so, and she let me know it because my ears started ringing really bad, and my truck got freezing cold inside.
When you kicked her out?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, how far would you have let it go?
Like, I don't want them coming home with me. This is their home if they want to be here. My house is not their home. So
Yeah.
that's the limitation that I set. And they've all respected that since the third time that happened.
After my interview with Robert, I went back up to our room before heading down to meet Corey at the bar. I'm by myself. It's like 8:30. It's dark. Haven't really noticed anything weird. Except when I opened the door just now, it kind of like flew open. Like it almost felt like someone was opening it for me, but I'm not sure if that's just the door or if it's Elizabeth Wilson, a ghost in this room. Elizabeth. Elizabeth, are you here? And I feel kind of creepy, but I also just ate part of a weed gummy, so there's like no way to know. In retrospect, that might have been a stupid idea. I went back down to the bar, had a few drinks, and ordered some dinner to bring back up to our room. Okay. Well, we're back in our room. We've had a haunting. The window in the bathroom is wide the fuck open. I didn't open it. I didn't know that it opened. It looks like it was painted shut up until like a minute ago. Okay, Elizabeth. We get it. You really did not open that at all?
No, I did not.
You did not open the bathroom window?
No. I 100%
So granted, I had literally asked Elizabeth Wilson to come say hello, and she did. But that combined with weed gummies and a framed photo of Stephen King right next to the bed, and also the most haunted house creepy wind noises right outside the windows all night long, was unfortunately not a great recipe for a good night's sleep. But that said, I would not trade this spooky ass experience at the Stanley Hotel for anything. It was incredible. And this time I have two creepy friends to chime in about today's topic, which is essentially DIY taxidermy. Hi, Amy.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, come on in. You and your rooster.
Yep, are you ready? It's a chicken. It's what's for dinner.
This bitch got an all-black goth-ass rooster from one of her friends who raises chickens, and she is letting me cut off its legs. What a gift. So we go into my backyard, lay down some newspaper, and we get to work. I think birds is really hard to tell, like, their sex.
I've never sexed a bird.
We are consummate professionals.
Are you gonna break off a foot?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready for it.
So it'll make a pop. You'll hold it here, and you'll break it.
Back this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God.
It's tricky. I also have my knife.
You came prepared.
I did.
Oh, man, its toes are opening up when I
It's straight flexing.
Oh, boy. All right.
There you go.
I got it now. Oh.
Yeah. So do you see where the stringy little tendons are?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's hard to believe that you're essentially entirely self-taught in doing all this.
Boredom. Freedom. I don't know. Gave up on sports.
Well, I didn't make the cheerleading squad, so here we are.
Here we go. Thanks, guys. So we're gonna pose them. Oh, hello.
Did you find a treat? Extra treat?
Yeah, you got a bone, another little bone in there.
Oh, did I cut it wrong?
No. It'll work.
This guy's full of surprises.
He is.
You never quite know what you'll find when you dismember a black chicken, apparently. And we got a real nice crack on that second leg. We also took his head off. And as a side note, it's actually really hard to pull a chicken's head off.
All right, y'all. My summer is packed to the gills.
Yeah.
Not only do we have live shows coming up, I have family vacations, and I have this like super chill tiny event in August. That's, my wedding day.
Nuptials.
My nups. And I have to pack for every contingency. I also have to pack for comfort. I also have to pack for cuteness. Okay? This is a lot of things to put on one item. And Rothy's has combined everything into one perfect item for travel. Okay, so they have all new slides and mules for your beach vacation. They have cute flats for nights out. They have the most comfortable sneakers for exploring. And when you get all disgusting because it's hot outside and your feet are gonna sweat, you can just toss them in the wash. You can clean them off.
That's my favorite part.
It's amazing. They're lightweight, they're flexible, they're so easy to pack, and Rothy's are effortlessly versatile. So you can dress them up, you can dress them down, you don't have to bring tons of shoes. I will pack like 2 pairs of Rothy's for a whole trip and just be set.
Absolutely. And these are unbelievably comfortable. Like you don't even know.
You won't believe.
You won't believe because they're made out of recycled materials.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd think that they'd feel like plasticky, rigid, something like that. They're not, people. Right out of the box, they are so incredible. And like Amanda said, so easy to pack. I just squish them in the bottom of my bag.
Yeah, they're malleable.
They're malleable. They're so convenient for travel. And they're freaking cute. They are so adorable. They change up their patterns and colors all of the time. Every time I go to the Rothy's website, I know I'm in trouble because they're just adorable. I recently got a pair of their mules. They're they're backless.
So
they're kind
cute.
of pointed. They're absolutely adorable. They're so perfect for like summer weddings. All Rothy's shoes and bags are sustainably made with their signature thread spun from single-use plastic bottles, over 158 million and counting. They're
That's
helping
amazing.
the planet.
They really are.
Yeah, Cosmopolitan called The Point their most comfortable pointed flats in a list of cute and comfortable shoes. I gotta say, The Point, they're so
It's a
comfortable
go-to.
that you're not gonna know you're wearing like a fancy shoe, but they dress up any outfit. They're so cute. My closet is full of Rothy's. You gotta try them to believe it.
Big hard same. And for stylish and comfortable shoes, shop Rothy's. Get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/gals. That's ROTHYS.com/gals. And treat your feet.
Trade them.
I go in a different direction than Lucy does.
You try to help people with their mental health.
I mean, as I make very clear at the top of all of my episodes of A Mansplaining, I am not a mental health professional.
No.
At all. But the essence of A Mansplaining is really just y'all send me the shit you're going through. Something weird that's happening in your life. Maybe an issue you're having with a bestie, maybe a family drama. I love hearing about people's family dramas.
Really, you're speaking from experience.
Straight up. Basically everything that I've complained about in all of the Patreon happy hours throughout the course of planning my wedding, I want to hear those things from you so that I can give you the great sound and sage advice that I can so willingly give to others and never apply to myself. That's really what this show is.
You hit the nail on the head.
I really did. But I love it. I mean, I feel like we all as humans deal with a lot of complex issues, and that a lot of what this show has shown me is that like we're all human beings going through a lot of similar BS. And sometimes you just want to talk about it and get somebody, some third party objective. Well, I'm not that objective, but some third party opinion on am I the asshole? Is my crazy aunt the asshole? Who's the asshole here? I'll tell you. I will tell you.
An extroverted borderline narcissist, Amanda gives great advice.
Oh, great advice.
I truly do. And you can submit your questions that need a little bit of advising to me in the same way that you can submit them for our other Patreon shows. If you head to our support page at wineandcrimepodcast.com, go to A Mansplaining, and there's a little link that says send a voice message. But if you don't want your voice included. You can also just send me an email and a mansplaining email at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. And hopefully I could tackle your issue and help you out a little bit.
Yeah, set some boundaries.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Boundaries are a running theme through all of our conversations. So why don't you take a listen to a handful of favorite moments from a mansplaining and see for yourself. Welcome back to another episode of A Mansplaining with me, Amanda. I know it's been a while since I've been with you, and I've missed you, and we're getting back on a routine, and now I'm here to answer some of your burning advice questions. Hopefully, there's not too much burning. If there's burning, I'm the wrong person for you to go to. Go to a doctor. Speaking of being the wrong person for you to go to, this is my blanket reminder that I do at the top of all of these episodes that I am not a licensed therapist, that you are calling in to get some friendly advice from a stranger, from a friend. This is really all that I can offer you is my insight as someone who's just done a lot of dumb shit and has all the scars to show for it. So if you are in need of any kind of immediate assistance with either your physical health or your mental health, both of which are of equal importance, I highly recommend that you head to our resources page on our website, wineandcrimepodcast.com. We do have 24-hour resources available to help you get through whatever you're going through right now. And I am so excited to hear from you and to answer some of these, burning advice questions. I don't know why I keep saying burning. I'm just rambling now. So let's go ahead and listen to question number 1.
So I'm a nurse practitioner. I work with a lot of male doctors. And though I do essentially the same job as them, I am still, for example, buying their pens, taking their phone messages, filling out fax forms, because apparently that's something that they are unable to do. So in a professional hospital environment, how do I fuck the patriarchy, but, in a professional nurse practitioner, still love people and want to care about them type of way? Thanks.
Oh, I hate this shit so much because we, folks who identify as women are expected to not only take on the labor that is required of us, say in this situation of our job, but then are expected without, any kind of backlash to take on other people's labor. And that is completely ridiculous. So my recommendation would be to learn how to say no. And it's perfectly okay and professional when getting a request like that to say, hey, I understand that maybe it's, challenging for you to take on some of these administrative duties right now, but you, as much as I should understand, because we have the same position, that I also have a heavy workload currently, and I unfortunately do not have the bandwidth to take on your administrative responsibilities. If you're having a hard time managing your time and getting these items completed in a fashion that, suits you and your patients best, I would recommend talking to your supervisor about that so that we can figure out a way that your time can be managed better and you can be supported without also, adding to my workload, because I'm also practicing my own time management within this position. And you just have to be prepared for people to be like, well, she's a bitch, because you've asserted yourself and you have set boundaries. It's not in your job description to refill somebody else's office supplies, to fill out somebody else's paperwork. It's just not. And the more you continue to do it, and I'm not victim blaming you by any stretch of the imagination, I understand where you're coming from. And the more you continue doing it, the more people are going to expect it of you. So if you can start working right now on learning how to say no and helping to manage other people's expectations and help other people see that your time is as valuable as theirs, despite your genitalia, then maybe I would hope they would stop making those kinds of requests from you. And I think that being stern and assertive is okay. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say that you don't have the bandwidth for that project. It's okay to point out that doing those tasks for this coworker is not part of your job description, and that for you to be able, again, like I said, to manage all of the items that are on your plate that are under your job description, you can't also take on doing somebody else's administrative work. It is discrimination. It's a microaggression, and we are so conditioned to say yes so that we're not ruffling feathers and we're not causing disturbances. And we need to break that cycle. And if you can practice, that would be my recommendation. Practice with people that you trust. If you have men in your life that you trust, talk to them about it. Practice having them ask you these questions and practice saying no. Practice that dialogue so that you can really get in the habit of defaulting to, this is not my job, I don't need to do this, when confronted with these kinds of requests, because like I said, quite frankly, they are ridiculous. You are not their fucking secretary.
Hey, Amanda. I'm a 29-year-old female from East Texas. I come from a very religious Hispanic background. And so I was married from a very young age. No kids, luckily, thank God. But we just drifted apart and I got divorced. So it's been about 2.5 years now that I've been divorced. And within this 2.5 years, I took on a polyamorous relationship. And he and I have not had a serious girlfriend on his side or boyfriend on my side until recently, when he started talking to this other woman. And when he told me, hey, I really also like this other woman, I was really excited for him. And I was like, well, good for you. I'm excited. Maybe I might have a friend as well. But I never got to meet her, even though he insisted that I was going to meet her. But the last 4 months or so, I have not really spoken to him or talked to him or spent any time with him, really. And when I confronted him a little bit about it, because I have tried to text him to keep a conversation going, to know that, I still care about him, send him funny memes, things like that. He did say that he's been in his head and he's been spending a lot of time with the new girlfriend. It kind of hurt me quite a bit. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong in feeling that way, because he and I have been in a kind of a relationship for the last at least year. And I don't know if maybe I'm just thinking too much, or I'm just very ignorant on this situation, on how this is supposed to go. Because like I said, I'm from East Texas and from a Hispanic household, so none of this happens. I'm really hoping to maybe get some insight. I would like that. Thank you. I love you gals so much.
All right. I'm going to start by saying you are not wrong in feeling hurt in this situation. So the questions that I would have surrounding this are like, what were the rules? What were the boundaries? Is his behavior breaking that contract that you had between you? Did you have that conversation, to prepare for the introduction of a third party or a fourth party in your relationship? Because if you have rules and boundaries in place and he's not holding up his side of that, that's a breach of trust. And no matter what type of relationship you're in, and I would argue especially in a polyamorous relationship, that trust has to be there. Communication has to be there. So it sounds like you're trying to communicate and he's settling into the comfort of his other relationship while kind of leaving you in the dark, which must feel really shitty and dismissive and disrespectful. And those feelings are very valid. And if he's not able to put in the work to open up that line of communication and comply with the rules that you two agreed upon, then he's simply not fulfilling his requirements in the relationship. That's that. So what I want to know is the extent of the conversation that you two had as partners when opening up into a poly relationship. If that conversation never happened, or if it was unclear and you want to stay in this relationship, then you both need to talk as soon as you can and get on the same page. I think it's salvageable if he's willing to come to the table and have a conversation with you. And if you're willing to do that and he isn't, then you really have your answer. If the members of the relationship cannot meet each other's needs within reason, then it isn't the relationship for either of you anymore. And that's okay, even though that's really sad and that's hard for us to accept. I just feel like that's the baseline barometer in any relationship we have, a friendship, a family relationship, a working relationship, especially a romantic relationship. If both parties can't communicate what their needs are and work together to fulfill them within reason, and when I say within reason, I mean that includes compromising, then it's not a symbiotic relationship. It's not balanced. And so it can't possibly be serving both parties. Like, even if one person is getting most of what they want, it's still not a great relationship for them either, because then they have a less than equal partner just suffering in their presence. And, no person connected with their humanity with any shred of empathy or respect for other individuals wants to be in that either. So I guess all I can say is you got to make yourself really clear about what needs to happen. And right now, what needs to happen is you two have to talk about this and talk about what your expectations are as you continue forward in a poly relationship. And that can literally be, let's make a calendar. I get your time intimately with you on these days. Or like, I expect this much interaction per month. Can you meet that need? No. Okay. Can we adjust the calendar? No. Okay. Then I can't get what I want out of this and I gotta go. I'm sorry that you're in this spot because breakups suck, but I also don't know if this has to be a breakup. I'm hoping, I'm going to stay optimistic that he can come to the table and have the conversation with you and that you guys can make a plan. Because a lot of times that's all it takes. Just make a plan and stick to it. And then the expectations are clear. And if somebody deviates from the plan without the consent of the other individual, then you can fight it out. Or you can fucking break up. I mean, you can navigate this however you want to and however you feel comfortable.
So my ex's father died very recently. And we've been trying to be friends for the past couple of months. And this is kind of the first big thing that I have to be a supportive friend through. And I'm trying to be very present and very supportive of him through what I am sure is a very difficult time. But he's also kind of using the situation to get my advice and my support on other situations that he finds difficult, including his dating life. And I'm just kind of looking for some advice on how I can set boundaries while still being a supportive friend while he's dealing with something incredibly painful. Thanks.
All right. Yeah. Like I said, I relate to so many of these. So when my father passed away, I was dating somebody who ended up breaking up with me a short time after because he was a piece of shit. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. One of the first people that I called when I got that news was actually an ex of mine who I'd known since high school. We weren't together in high school, but we did get together kind of within like a couple of years of graduating. And we had been together for almost 6 years before we broke up. And we were really dedicated to staying friends. We're still friends now, although our relationship has changed a lot, obviously. And he is somebody that I called when my father died because I didn't know that many people in Minnesota who were actually like here and at the ready who also knew my dad. And so it was important for me to share space and, be comforted by someone who also knew him so that I could sort of share my grief a little bit. And this person really showed up for me. And that was huge. But I can also really put myself in both your ex-partner and your shoes because it does sometimes open doors for an intimacy that is no longer appropriate. And the only way to set boundaries is with, what a lot of folks in mental health and just kind of in the buzzwordy world will call radical honesty. And this is something that's really, really fucking hard to achieve because we as human beings have such a hard time being radically honest with ourselves, let alone being radically honest with other people. And so what I would recommend doing, and this sounds like such a cliche, but it's like sit down and write about it, journal about it, write a letter to this person and talk about how much you love and care for and appreciate them, and talk about how glad you are that you've been able to maintain a friendship after your romantic relationship ended and how important that friendship is to you. But also really outline the boundaries that you need without thinking about what their needs are right now, because that's also a tough and potentially manipulative space that you're in. You don't want to cause this person further harm because they're grieving, right? And so what can happen is we can give so much of ourselves and really push ourselves outside of our comfort zone because we're trying to protect that other person and protect their wellness and protect their heart. And we don't want to say no, and we don't want to further harm them. But when you are blurring those boundaries that are so important to maintaining this friendship, it's gonna cause harm. Even if it feels like it's providing comfort right now, what it's gonna do is muddy the waters in the long term and make it harder for both of you to be friends. And if you are gonna be a good friend, you have to be the one who has the clear mind right now and go, hey, I'm happy and able to be there for you in this capacity. This is what I can offer you. This is what I can do. What I can't do is cross this boundary or this boundary because I'm worried that it is going to damage the friendship that we have worked so hard to build, and I love you too much to let that happen. I'm sorry if this is hurting you, and I hope that you'll understand. I'm happy to give you the space to process this and also to circle back and talk about this more down the road, but I'm being vulnerable right now and letting you know what I need in order for this friendship to be successful. And if that person cares about you in the way that they claim, then they'll be open and receptive to that conversation. And I think they'll actually see the value in what you're doing by sort of taking the reins and saying, okay, no, we can't go there because this is only going to hurt both of us even more. And we don't want to open either of us up to more hurt during a very vulnerable time in that person's life. So I hope that that's helpful. And like I always say, I'd love a follow-up. You can DM me, whatever. I'd love to know how you're doing. And all of my love and support to your ex. It's such an awful thing what they're going through right now. But friendships with boundaries and built in with support are life-changing. You can be an amazing friend to this person and not step outside or over a boundary that you know is going to be harmful. Both of those things can exist. And sometimes being a really good friend and being there for someone is knowing when to say no and when to pull back because the other person is not capable of doing that in that moment.
Hi, Amanda. My name is Chris, and I don't know if you've covered this yet or not, but I lived with my best friend and her fiance. Love those two to death. They're like my brother and sister now. But my best friend's dynamics with her family and her mom specifically causes so much turmoil in her life. It bleeds into mine sometimes because I'm like, okay, you're upset, you're mad, you're crying. Let me make you feel better. And then she never comes back at her mom and says, you can't do this to me. Why are you treating me like this? She's 30 fucking years old. And her mom just acts like a child and treats her like she's still a child. And she says, I've dealt with my own like this all my life. And I'm like, but why? Why would you even do this? I just would like your advice on what I should do or say to her, because I have a feeling if I see her mom again, I'm going to freak the fuck out. Thank you.
All right, Chris, here's how I feel about this situation. First of all, it's a little complicated because this is a roommate. So it could be a little different setting boundaries in that situation than, say, with like a romantic partner. But honestly, the easiest way to deal with this is to move out, but that is such a privileged approach. And I realize that that is not necessarily an easy option. Also, when you're renting, you're tied to a lease. Your options are not nearly as wide open. And so I'm going to operate under the impression that you are not able to move out, because if you were, you probably wouldn't have sent me this message in the first place. We talk about boundaries a lot and kind of what we can control and what we can't. You cannot control your roommate's relationship with their mother, regardless of how toxic and damaging it is. And it's very likely, it's probable that you are seeing aspects of their relationship and the harm that this relationship causes both to your roommate and also to you that your roommate can't see because they've been so entrenched in this relationship for their entire life. And so to them, this feels very normal. This is just how it is. But you are not accustomed to that kind of energy in your life, in your space. And you are not you don't have to put up with it. And so I think it would be worth having a very serious conversation with your roommate, maybe even like a roomie meeting, where you make the impact of that relationship on you clearly known. Talk about how this is affecting you, how it's making it hard for you to live in that environment, and that in order for you to be able to stay in this situation, certain boundaries need to be set. That you have concerns that you may act out toward your roommate's mother and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be disrespectful, but that you cannot share space with that woman. And that, if she's going to be in the home, which you would prefer she's not, that you need a heads up so that you can remove yourself from that space if possible or stay in your room. You can ask for things. You can ask for your roommate to conduct those toxic conversations in a quieter space away from where you are also holding space. Whether or not your roommate is willing to work within your boundaries is not something that we can predict. I have a feeling that they will be resistant, at least at first, to this kind of feedback. But you also live there and you have to protect your wellness and you have to protect your space. This is where you live. You pay to live there. You have just as many rights to what goes on and what does not go on in that home as any of your roommates do. And just solid, stern communication and boundary setting would be, in my opinion, the first step. And then if I were you, I would be exploring other living options. It's hard to have roommates and then discover these things that you don't know when they're just like your friend. And anyone who's rented with roommates has been in a similar situation, unless you're just like blessed by God. But part of, adulthood is just slogging through, setting your boundaries, slogging through some of these temporary situations, and then setting yourself up to move on to something better. So I really do hope that you survive the rest of your lease and that fresh opportunities for a healthier and less toxic living situation present themselves to you. And things often don't present themselves to us until we seek them out. So, get searching. Some friends love to look up apartments. I know that I am one of those people. So call in reinforcements and have an open conversation with your roommate about how their relationship with their mother is impacting your living situation and impacting your life. All we can do is be open and honest in our communication and hope that the people that we love and respect meet us where we're at with love and respect.
Get the star treatment with your own personal stylist. Can you even? With Stitch Fix, you'll have access to real human stylists who will work with you to create a wardrobe that is tailored just for you.
It's honestly brilliant. I was at an event a couple weeks ago, and one of my guy friends who was there mentioned that he has been using Stitch Fix, and he's like, it's completely changed how I shop, because now I know like what actually looks good on me and what kind of things I should be looking for when I'm out in an actual store. And he's like, it's been the most amazing thing ever. I'm like, heck yeah. Stitch Fix, truly is the best way to discover new styles and brands that are just for you. And you can think of Stitch Fix as like your personal shopper, your personal style partner. Your stylist learns about your tastes and collaborates with you so that they're sending you looks that you're going to love. And all you have to do is answer a couple questions. It's like, we love a good quiz. Why not take a quick quiz about where you typically like to shop, what you like to wear, and your price range? I'm definitely like very manic in what gets sent in my box because I love like athleisure wear. And then I also love like going out tops.
Mm-hmm. Or like denim with smiley faces all over it.
Precisely. So my stylist is like, okay, here's your hodgepodge. And I'm like, great, I'm keeping it all. And with your choices in mind and a wide range of sizes available, they will find your perfect fit. They have you covered with over 1,000 brands and styles. And you can try these pieces at home before you buy. And then you just keep what you love and send back the rest. They provide you in the box with like a prepaid, it's like a big soft envelope that you just put the stuff you don't want in, you seal it up, you plop it in a mailbox, it's gone. It's the easiest way to return stuff I have ever experienced, ever. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are always free, and there is no subscription required. You simply order a refresh as needed, or you can set it and forget it like I do. I have regular seasonal fixes that just show up every couple months.
Me too.
It's amazing. It's like Christmas seasonally. You're just in control of your whole situation. I love it.
And you look super cute.
Oh, I truly do.
Try Stitch Fix today at stitchfix.com/gals, and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's not going to be hard. That's stitchfix.com/gals for 25% off today. One more time, stitchfix.com/gals, and treat your wardrobe.
Treat it.
I am struggling to think of a way to describe my Patreon spinoff show, which is Unimpressed with Kenyon Lang. It was born out of me, I think, ranting about
It was.
Ted
I remember.
Bundy
Yes.
show.
It was. Who's the hot guy? The young hot guy from High School Musical.
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron playing Ted Bundy, and we all watched this movie, and you were incensed.
You were lit up. Opinions.
It was deep.
And I like to go on passionate rants about random minutia of everyday life.
Passionate ranting. Whoa, whoa.
You girls got opinions.
I got opinions. And you know what? I like hearing others' opinions too. So I also have guests come on, and no complaint, no pet peeve is too niche for this show. If you just want to commiserate with people who are curmudgeonly and opinionated.
Yeah, I've heard you rant about like lip scrubs.
Oh yeah, the things that you will
can't call
go
it a
deep
lip
on.
scrub if it doesn't have an exfoliant.
Oh my god.
Okay, then if it's just hydration, it's not a scrub.
Crying.
Okay.
Wow.
I touched a nerve.
So anyway,
that was in the chamber, babe.
I don't need
on that.
any prep for these rants. Unimpressed is really fun. We've only did 2 episodes so far, but I've got a lot more in the pipeline. And speaking of pipes, I want to hear from all of you. So please submit your rants and
what are you unimpressed with?
Yeah, your topics, your shit that you're annoyed about. To Unimpressed, and maybe it will be covered on a future episode. If you go to our wineandcrimepodcast.com website, go to our support page, you'll see Unimpressed with Kenyon Lang, and there is a link that you can click on SpeakPipe to send voice memos. I want to hear from you, or, send me an email. And, what's annoying? I want to cover it.
Yeah, what's annoying to you is annoying to Kenyon.
Absolutely.
I'm obsessed.
Whew, we did it. I'm a big girl now.
You could just complain about this for half an hour,
Seriously. Emily's rant is, I hate it when I'm asked to guest on someone's show and then I have to download a program. And anyway. Okay. Well, you are listening to Unimpressed with Kenyon Lang. And it is my little spin-off Patreon show because Lucy has her Patreon show, Spooky Little Bitch. Amanda has a mansplaining. And I was told that I needed to pull my weight and create a spin-off. And here we are. So I have a fabulous guest here today with me. Say hi to Emily Haswell.
Hey guys, what's up?
Emily is a writer, TikToker, and avid Twitter user.
Truly all I do. Yeah. I don't have a very impressive bio, but you know what? It's honest. It's very honest bio.
You know what? It tells everything you need to know, and that's how I found you. So I am also a big Twitter fan because I prefer words over pictures. And I'm not cool enough to be on TikTok, but you had reposted some of your funny TikTok videos on your Twitter, and I came across them, and they had me wetting my pants laughing. So
yeah,
I was
truly,
like,
I am not cool enough to be on TikTok either, but quarantine did desperate things to all of us. And and so I was like, I'm 30 years old. I think it's time to try out TikTok. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, do you do any of the like dancing? I hear that's a thing.
No. I mean, I did like a dance to a Billy Joel song when I found out I had COVID. But that was that was pretty much it. Other than that, I leave the dancing to the cool teenagers, and I just do my snarky bits, and that's about it.
Well, your snarky bits are a blessing to all of us. So basically, this show is an opportunity for me to vent about the random minutia that annoy me, and then invite lovely, funny guests on to rant to me about the minutia that annoy them.
My favorite bonding activity is just talking to people about like common things that we hate. Like I think that's the best way to get to know someone.
Absolutely. I mean, that you just got to get right down to the nitty-gritty of what do we both hate? Or what do you hate that it amuses me to hear you hate it that much?
Right. Just entertaining.
Yeah. So I'm going to subject you to my rant first.
Hell yeah.
And then we will get to the good stuff, your rant, which is a surprise.
Yes.
So my rant is the fill-in-the-blank wife books. Like The Clockmaker's Wife.
Yeah.
That
Why is that such a genre?
It's an entire genre. You could fill entire bookstores in Martha's Vineyard with these books, and it just makes my fucking skin crawl.
Yeah.
I hate it. And I've created a list.
Oh, good. Okay. Because, like, now that you say that, like, I never would have thought about that. But you're so right. Like, why are there so many The Blank's Wife books? What is that?
There's I mean, I'm sure somebody will write in and be like, there's one, but there really aren't The Blank's Husband books.
No,
there's not a thing.
Yeah.
And there are hundreds of the wife ones.
Oh my God.
Fucking annoying for like obvious feminist reasons of, subjugating a woman's identity to her husband's profession. But also it's fucking lazy and stupid.
It's also like really lazy, like such a lazy title. Like I'm trying to think of other books where it's just like, this is a completely, these books are not connected, but they have essentially the same title. And like, I can't think of any. And like, I don't understand why that's allowed.
And a lot of them, I mean, I've like avoided most of them because it drives me so insane. This has been like a years long major pet peeve of mine.
Sure.
But the ones that I have actually read or seen the movie, and we will get to it, there could be a number of other better titles.
Yes, you're so right. Like, it's not that they're all terrible, although, I mean, I'm sure most of them are.
Right.
But, like, it's just that, like, it doesn't even really suit what the story is about.
Right. I think it's just like a publishing marketing thing where they're like, we know 44 to 64-year-old women will buy this book. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, totally. Well, it makes me sad. It makes me think that they think like women in that market are like, oh, I'm a wife too. You know what I mean? Like they're like, this will apply to me because I am also a wife and nothing else.
Right. And it's like, well, maybe you're also an accountant or a zoologist or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Yeah. So here is a list that I got so disgusted with that I stopped adding to it. But I went on just like Audible and was like pulling examples.
I'm very excited.
So I'm going to start with ones that I have a connection to and pass the test, I think.
Okay.
So The Zookeeper's Wife.
Okay.
Which I definitely watched last night at 1 a.m. screaming at my husband, it's for work.
Well, I've never heard of that in my life, but go on.
Okay, so The Zookeeper's Wife. I have not read the book, but apparently it's based on a true story. And the movie is actually pretty good. It's about like a zoo in Poland during World War II and Nazis and whatever.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool, right? And it's with, oh my God, what's her name? Redheaded actress with like a crazy jawline.
Oh, Jessica Chastain?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the thing about this is that it's a good story, but she's a fucking zookeeper. She's the zookeeper.
Oh. So
like,
why?
Like they co-own, they bought a zoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so why isn't it just called The Zookeeper or The Zookeepers? Or
yeah, like she didn't marry a man that already owned a zoo.
No.
They're on this zoo journey together.
They are, and she's better at it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm pissed. Okay, next one. Next one, The Time Traveler's Wife.
Yes, okay, this one I have both read and seen, but it was so long ago. It was before I knew things could be problematic.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I was like young enough that I was like, yay, a movie.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I used to adore The Blind Side until I thought about it.
Right. Then you had your whole frontal cortex developed and you were like, wait a sec.
Yeah, exactly. So I do love all of the actors in this movie.
Sure.
Haven't read the book. Gonna trust you that it's good.
Well, I mean,
good-ish.
Again, it was before I knew to have critical thoughts, so
right.
I don't know if it was.
The fact that he's not sharing this magical gift with his life partner, it's a huge problem. But
it's
anyway,
concerning. Yeah.
Love Donald Gleason. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, I don't
love
know.
Rachel McAdams. Love the skinny dad actor guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. But again, not about the wife.
No, it's not about her at all. And you know what else? I'm just remembering a detail from the book that kind of pertains to my song that we were talking about earlier, is that like in the book, he like visits her throughout her life, right? So there's like, obviously it's not like super creepy, but it's like, he's like going and seeing her when she's like a little girl and when she's like a teenager. And there's like a whole scene like when she's a teenager and he's like, we can't be together for real yet. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of vibe. And so, yeah, it's gross. It's like, you could just, so you're familiar with Twilight, yes?
Yes, of course.
It's like the story of when the werewolf.
What would you have done if I had been like, never heard of it?
I would have been like, cut the cameras. I'm out of here. I would have refused to continue. But okay, so you know how it's all creepy that they end the books with the Jacob, the werewolf, being like, oh, I imprinted on a baby.
Gross.
Or whatever. But like, that's the vibe. It's like, yes, one day you're going to be my wife, but for now I'm going to raise you. It's just the fucking Woody Allen story. Like, it's creepy.
Oh, okay. See, I have not read the book. I just like the movie. And that is tactfully edited from the film.
Yeah, I'm sure they edit some of that out. Also, maybe I'm wrong, but like that's what I remember about it. And like as an adult woman, I'm like,
Yeah, no thank you. You are listening to Unimpressed with Kenyon Lang and my very special guest this month, amazing podcaster and friend, Josh Hallmark. Hello, Josh.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey. Josh, do your spiel. Do your intro. Introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Josh Hallmark, and I host a show called True Crime Bullshit, which has, over the past 4 years, been investigating meticulous serial killer Israel Keys. And I think we've made some pretty solid ground in the last 4 years.
Josh is being extremely humble. They have, he has personally solved missing persons cases.
Sort of.
Connecting them to Israel Keys. It's an incredible show. Everybody go listen to True Crime Bullshit. I'm completely obsessed with it, and I'm so honored to call Josh a friend. We just were at his amazing, cornucopia rural idyll farm in Massachusetts for your birthday recently. Fabulous. So my rant this month is something that has annoyed me for a long time. My husband asked me right before recording, what are you going to talk about? And I told him, and he was like, oh, yeah, that's a big one for you.
Ooh, I can't wait.
There are certain celebrity endorsements that just get under my skin because they either are so incongruous with the brand or the celebrity's brand that it's how did this happen? How did this monstrosity get approved on both sides? And also just assume that we, the consumers, are so fucking dumb that it's offensive. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I mean, so you do not want Erica Jane to sell you Spanx?
Erica Jane, you know what? Erica Jane can sell me literally anything. She is an exception to the rule. But at least she probably uses Spanx. You know?
Mm-hmm.
She's got to use some sort of shapewear. It might as well be Spanx, you know? That I can take. But I have prepared a list of some of the more egregious ones that really need to fucking stop.
All right, lay it on me.
Number 1, Jennifer Lopez and Fiat 500 cars. J-Lo is not driving an Italian miniature inexpensive car. She's not driving a Fiat.
No.
Even
she's
if
not.
they gave her a Fiat, I don't think she would wipe her ass with it.
No, she gave it to her maid.
How did you hear that? Is that true?
No, but it might as well be.
Oh my God, I fully believed you. Yeah, J-Lo in a Fiat. First of all, she's not Italian. And one of their commercials, she's driving a Fiat around the Bronx. What the fuck? Find somebody who's Italian seeming. Have some connection, something. No?
Also, isn't a Fiat 30 grand?
Yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah.
Her watch, her purse is worth more than that. Her coat is worth more than that vehicle.
Erica Jane is broke. She should be selling Fiats because that's all she can afford.
Exactly. I know. I love how, do you remember in that episode when she pulled up in the all black Range Rover and she's like, this is how far I've fallen.
Yes.
Do you remember? I fucking love it. Anyway.
I have an aunt who downgraded to a Porsche Cayenne because she didn't want to offend her clients in the down market.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, times are tough, and at least she had the self-awareness. I went to college with a lot of folks like that. Not quite that level, but a lot of people who were driving, a brand new BMW because their parents wanted them to have something safe.
Well, yeah, and not ostentatious. And a good starter car.
Yeah, totally. My first car was $700. I saved up from babysitting, and it was a 92 Jeep Cherokee, and it had a defunct car phone in it. And one of the wheels fell off while I was driving. So it's fine. It's all good. It was fun, though. I do miss that car. Okay, another car one. A little bit less egregious, but has caused a big wave in the celebrity commercial world. Matthew McConaughey and Lincoln MKZ. Those commercials are chilling.
Chilling, irritating,
Mm-hmm.
lacking in awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. This one is a little bit less egregious because there is a world in which Matthew McConaughey would ride in a Lincoln MKZ. I don't think it's his primary vehicle.
Well, and I think emphasis on the word ride, as in
Yeah.
in the back seat of one.
Right, exactly. Like he would be driven around in a Lincoln MKZ if hard pressed. Yes. Unlike J-Lo, who literally would never be caught dead in a Fiat. Ever.
No. I think McConaughey would ride in one if his chauffeur and his standard, whatever he's chauffeured around in, got into a terrible car accident and he had to do like an Uber XL.
Right, exactly. He was in like a new city for 24 hours and didn't bring his chauffeur with him.
Like Omaha. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And like I'm so sorry, Mr. McConaughey, but this is literally the only vehicle we have within 300 miles. Yeah. Okay. Jennifer Aniston and Aveeno moisturizer.
Oh, yeah. This one might be the most egregious. Oh, no. I mean,
I have worse, but it is up there.
The ads trouble me every time I see them, and they often run on Bravo, and I'm like, I don't even use Aveeno. No offense to people who do, but come on.
I'm sure it's fine. I actually had an allergic reaction to it once as a child, so I don't use Aveeno, but I have the skin of someone who was not meant to live past 30. But she's Jennifer fucking Aniston. She is bathing in La Mer and the blood of teenagers. Like she's not using drugstore moisturizer, people.
I would bet she's never even been in a Rite Aid.
Yeah. I mean, not since Friends aired, probably. You know, I'm sure like all these people, okay, maybe you were a normal human before your first job, 30 years ago, but you haven't been a normal human living on this planet for a very long time.
Well, and she was never normal. Her dad was a soap opera actor. Like she's always had money, albeit it started with soap opera money, humble beginnings. But
right, we all have to start somewhere. Oh, I didn't know that. See, I didn't know that about Jennifer Aniston, but I didn't put Gwyneth. Our Queen Gwyneth on this list because one, she's like endorsed a bunch of shit, but then it kind of ties in with Goop, so that doesn't really count. Yeah. And two, like she has always been the most privileged person ever. So nothing counts with Gwyneth, I think.
Well, she doesn't have a great understanding of reality, so it's hard to expect her to endorse in a real world.
Exactly. Yeah. So Gwyneth is gonna do Gwyneth.
Well, wasn't that fun?
We're having fun here.
Yeah, we have fun here at Wine and Crime on our Patreon.
Yeah. So one more time, if you found this entertaining, which you did, you got to check out these and more at patreon.com/wine and crime pod. And we'll see you over on our Patreon feed.
Yeah, enjoy. And bye-bye.
See you there. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Kala Yip. Music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell. Editing by Jonathan Camp. Check out our website and blog at wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wine and Crime Pod. If you have questions, answers, or recommendations to share, email us at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, basically wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
podcasts. And if you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to show your support, visit our Patreon page to keep this podcast and the wine flowing. Cheers.